When you walk into rooms you were never invited to, welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred pause Black women have been waiting for. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm here to guide you from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I had the profound honor of sitting down with Kimberly Sermon, a woman whose story will shake you awake and remind you why your voice, your presence, your brilliance matters, even when the world tries to reduce you to who you're connected to instead of who you are. Kimberly is a force. She's walked into rooms she was never invited into, not because she was reckless, but because she knew she belonged. And in doing so, she's making the world a better place by showing Black women everywhere that we don't need permission to claim our space, our worth, or our softness. Her courage, her clarity, and her refusal to shrink have opened doors not just for herself, but for every woman who's ever been told she doesn't belong. Let me tell you something. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from being excellent in a room that refuses to see you. You show up prepared, you show up polished, you show up with receipts, references, and results, and still they see your last name before they see your resume. They see who you're married to before they see what you've built. They see your proximity to someone else's success and decide that's the only reason you're there. Kimberly said something during our conversation that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said, "My triumph is I was never invited in and walked in. My trauma is as good as I am, I will still be held back because of what they thought I was coming in for and who I was connected to. I wasn't able to be seen on my own." Read that again. She walked in anyway. That's the triumph. But the trauma is being brilliant, capable, and undeniable, and still being reduced, still being overlooked, still being held back because people decided your story before you even opened your mouth. And here's the thing that makes it even more painful: this isn't just about one industry or one experience. This is the reality for so many high achieving Black women who've spent years, decades even, building, supporting, creating, and leading, only to be introduced as someone's wife, someone's sister, someone's assistant, never as themselves. You know what that does to you? It makes you question everything. You start wondering if your work even matters. You start second guessing your gifts. You start shrinking, not because you're weak, but because you're tired of fighting to be seen. But here's what Kimberly's story teaches us: walking into rooms you weren't invited to isn't about arrogance, it's about knowing your worth even when the world refuses to affirm it. It's about refusing to wait for permission to exist fully, to contribute fully, to be seen fully. And that is soft girl era energy. Because soft girl era isn't about being passive, it's not about shrinking or staying silent or playing small to make others comfortable. Soft girl era is about releasing the need to prove yourself to people who've already decided not to see you. It's about protecting your peace while still walking boldly into your purpose. It's about saying, I'm not waiting for your invitation anymore. I'm here because I belong here. Let's talk about what it means to be held back because of perception. Kimberly's experience isn't unique, and that's the tragedy. There are countless Black women working behind the scenes in industries that profit from their labor, their creativity, their emotional intelligence, and yet they remain invisible. They're the ones coordinating, managing, supporting, strategizing, they're holding things together. And when the accolades come, when the recognition rolls in, their names aren't called. They're the glue, but they're never the headline. And when they do step forward, when they do try to claim space, they're met with resistance, not because they're unqualified, not because they're unprepared, but because the people in power can't see past their assumptions. They can't see past the narrative they've already written. That's not just frustrating, that's traumatic. Because every time you're overlooked, every time you're reduced, every time someone attributes your success to someone else, it chips away at you. It makes you wonder if you'll ever be enough, if you'll ever be seen, if your voice will ever matter. But here's what I need you to hear: your voice matters, your presence matters, your work matters, even if they never say it, even if they never see it, even if they never invite you in. You matter. And part of entering your soft girl era is learning to hold that truth for yourself, even when the world won't hold it for you. Now, let's talk about the cape. Because if there's one thing Kimberly's story reveals, it's how many of us have been carrying the weight of other people's success, other people's dreams, other people's visions, while our own get pushed to the side. We're taught to be supportive. We're taught to be loyal. We're taught to hold it down, hold it together, hold the door open for everyone else. And we do it. We do it beautifully. We do it with grace and excellence and love. But somewhere along the way, we forget that we're allowed to walk through the door too. We forget that support doesn't mean sacrifice, that loyalty doesn't mean invisibility, that being excellent behind the scenes doesn't mean we're not allowed to step into the light. Kimberly walked in. She didn't wait. She didn't ask. She didn't shrink. And that's the lesson. You don't need an invitation to claim what's already yours. But here's the other side of that: walking in doesn't mean the room will welcome you, it doesn't mean they'll celebrate you, it doesn't mean the trauma disappears. Sometimes walking in means walking into resistance, walking into judgment, walking into spaces that will try to diminish you, dismiss you, or define you on their terms. And that's where the softness comes in. Because soft girl era isn't about hardening yourself against the world. It's not about building thicker skin or pretending the pain doesn't hurt. It's about learning to protect your peace without losing your power. It's about setting boundaries without apology. It's about saying, I see you trying to reduce me, and I'm not going to let that define me. It's about choosing yourself, even when the world chooses everyone else. Let me be clear: choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival, it's sacred, it's the only way you'll make it through with your joy intact. And joy is your birthright, not something you earn after you've proven yourself, not something you get after you've worked hard enough or sacrificed long enough. Joy is yours right now, today, in this moment, even if they never see you, even if they never say your name, even if they never give you the credit. You still get to rest, you still get to heal, you still get to be soft. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know: your softness is not weakness. Your rest is not laziness. Your boundaries are not selfishness. Your softness is resistance. Your rest is revolutionary. Your boundaries are sacred. And the world needs you soft, rested, and boundaried more than it needs you burnt out, exhausted, and invisible. Kimberly's story is a mirror for so many of us. It's a reminder that we've been walking into rooms we weren't invited to our whole lives. We've been showing up, speaking up, and stepping up, even when we weren't welcomed, even when we weren't seen. And that's brave, that's powerful, that's beautiful, but it's also exhausting. And part of your soft girl era is giving yourself permission to stop fighting for spaces that don't value you. It's giving yourself permission to build your own table, to create your own room, to define success on your own terms. It's saying, I'm done waiting for your approval. I'm done shrinking to fit your narrative. I'm done being excellent in silence, because your excellence deserves to be loud. Your brilliance deserves to be seen. Your story deserves to be told by you in your voice, on your terms. So here's what I want you to take with you today. If you've been walking into rooms you weren't invited to, Keep walking. You belong there. Your presence is not a favor. Your voice is not a disruption. Your existence is not up for debate. And if you've been held back because of who people think you are, or who you're connected to, or what they assume about you, let that be their limitation, not yours. You are not defined by their perception. You are not confined by their narrative. You are not limited by their imagination. You are whole. You are worthy. You are enough. And your soft girl era, it's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been underneath the cape, underneath the hustle, underneath the need to prove yourself. It's about coming home to yourself. So take off the cape, set down the weight, release the need to be seen by people who refuse to look, and step into the softest, most powerful version of yourself. Because the world doesn't just need your work, it needs your rest, it needs your joy, it needs your softness. And you, sis, you deserve all of that and more. Now, here's my challenge to you. I want you to do something radical this week. I want you to walk into a space, physical or metaphorical, that you've been waiting for permission to enter. I want you to speak up in a meeting where you've been silent. I want you to submit that proposal you've been sitting on. I want you to introduce yourself by your name and your work, not by who you're connected to. And I want you to notice how it feels. Notice the fear. Notice the resistance. Notice the freedom. Because that freedom, that's your soft girl era calling you home. You don't need their invitation. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You just need to decide that you're done waiting. So walk in, speak up, show up, and let the world adjust. Because, sis, you were never meant to fit into their rooms anyway. You were meant to build your own. And trust me, when you do, the right people will find you, the right opportunities will find you, the right version of yourself will find you. So stop waiting, stop shrinking, stop apologizing for taking up space. Your time is now. Your voice is needed. Your presence is a gift. Walk in like you own the place, because you do. This is Soft Girl Era, and your revolution starts today.